Guys, happy Thursday. Doreen from Door Designs. I'm sitting down so y'all know we're going to be doing a centerpiece. We're going to actually be doing a spring, kind of an Easter centerpiece. And before I jump into the design, I have a ton of people asking me about how I keep all my greenery and florals and stuff when I have leftovers or remnants or things like that. Real quick, here's what I do. I have 3 tubs underneath my workstation now, and they have spring greenery, Easter eggs and things like that, and florals. I rotate them out for every season, but some of the remnants, they're too good to get rid of. If there's just a really small piece and things like that, to be honest, I used to keep every scrap. I don't now, but I want to show you kind of how we're going to be doing today's with leftovers. The best thing I can tell you is to stay organized with them, because otherwise you're going to put it somewhere and it's never going to be seen again until one day you decide to clean your craft room or craft area and you come across all this stuff that you don't know what to do with. I use a lot of my remnants or scraps when I need pieces to fill in or something that's a little bit bare and stuff like that. That's why I keep them here below my workstation for each season. For an example, I just pulled this group out. This is in one of my tubs in my spring, and this is more of my fillers. So these are pieces of scraps that I have left over that I typically use when I'm looking to fill in a wreath or arrangement, something like that. Then I have a part that I keep a bunch of ferns in. So I keep those, and they're all in the same tub. They're just kind of separated a little bit. And then I have just odds and ends of greenery. So it can add up a lot. And that's why I'd like to keep it, because we're going to do this whole arrangement. And actually I can do more than one without having to go to my new stash and use anything there. Then for florals, this is just a group of florals that I have. And they're all onesie twosies. These are beautiful if you just take a pretty vase and put some of them in. I'll keep them in my workstation over here so I kind of can see some of the florals I have, and I just pick from it and add them to my designs. Like for an example, this one. These are just little bitty single pieces, but you're going to see today we're going to be using a lot of them. So I hope that kind of helps give you a little idea. Let me show you the tub. Like for my eggs, I have a lot. I just keep this down. So it's got carrots, it's got Easter eggs, it's got some butterflies in here. So now that I'm in the spring and Easter season, I can just pull them real quick from down below. And then on my other wall over here, I have wire baskets that kind of match up here that I keep all my spring and Easter attachments. So I can look over there, come down and say, okay, I've got this amount of bunnies, I've got all this, and it kind of tells me what I have and what I need to do. So when I look at that, I tells myself that I really need to kick it in quickly and start doing a lot of designing with my Easter eggs and bunnies and things like that. So let's go ahead and get started. So while I'm cleaning out things, which I clean all my tubs out, I go through them every season. So I'm completely done in my storage area down here, except for the 4th of July. That's my last one. So when I was going through the Easter and spring stuff, I found this cute little guy. I got this rabbit from Angel at Holiday Baubles. That's Angel, not Amy, at Holiday Baubles. But I got him like 2 years ago. I bought like 3 or 4 of them. I've used them all, but I came across this one. So I'm going to go ahead and use him in today's arrangement. And then we're going to use all leftover greenery. So my base is a charger. For those of you who follow me know that I buy chargers all the time, out of season. I pay like $1, $1.25 for them. Sometimes Dollar Tree will have them in stock. I have about every color there is. What I like about them for centerpieces, they're light, they're easy to store, because I can just set this when I get done, set it in on a shelf or whatever. It's not going to tip or whatever. It won't scratch your tables or anything like that. So I've used chargers for years for centerpieces. I like them also because you can elevate them, you can set them on stuff. So all I did was took some hot glue, glued my piece of foam down, and you can tell I've used this foam for other things, but this is the foam we're going to use for today's design. So we're going to go ahead and start adding in some of our greenery. When you're doing a centerpiece like this, what you're looking for is how long you want your centerpiece to be, because this one's going to sit down pretty flat. So when I'm looking at my greenery on what I want to use, when I insert it, I want to know, is that long enough where it's going to be in my home? So this one, by using these fern pieces as is, that adds almost 10 inches on this side. So now I'm going to look for different pieces to make sure I have enough in my remnants to put it on both sides, because I'm going to start on each end. And I think that's going to work out really good. So I'm just going to insert it down at the bottom, all the way in. And once I get kind of my baseline at the bottom on what I have, then filling it in, you can put in whatever you want. There's no really rhyme or reason, but I'm just going to kind of go through my little ferns here and grab some pieces. And I want one in front, and I want one on this side. All of my ferns don't match. It's okay though. I'm more looking for the size of it going around, because when you see my centerpiece, you're not going to notice that this little piece of fern is different than the fern that's back here. I hope you guys can see good. I lowered the camera down. All I'm doing is dipping the ends of my greenery in my electric skillet. It's on about, I have to redo this. I had that fern in upside down. It's on about 325, 350. I use Gorilla Glue sticks. I have ever since I started. I love Gorilla Glue sticks. There's others on the market, but I can't tell you much about them because I don't use them. Okay, now I'm going to take this one that's more of a fern. Oops. And it's got kind of a mossy feel to it. So we're just going to start filling all the way around. I know a lot of you get intimidated by centerpieces. 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Don't, because you really can't mess them up. It's just the greenery and the florals and the design that you want to use. And you just need to get some styrofoam and some greenery and florals and start having fun. I always try and spread out all my greenery before I use it. And there we go for the first few pieces. Okay, now I'm going to come over here to, I don't have any more ferns, so I'm going to kind of look at my, this one's nice and full. Don't ask me where I got all this stuff because I won't be able to tell you. I will be able to tell you though, I think this one did come from Hobby Lobby. And yes, I have a trash can there. I'm throwing them in. Every time I do that, I get people ask me why I throw things across the room. I don't. There is a trash can. So now I'm just going to go around another layer and start filling it in. And you'll notice that all the different colors of greens and little berries that are going in this. Should get my little turntable out here. I could do it better. I'm using floral foam too. It makes it much easier for the pieces to go in, since I know this is not going to be outside. I love using it. Got a couple more pieces. Okay, I'm going to use all of that, so we got rid of that remnant. Okay, nice and full. So all we're going to do is we're just going to keep coming up the side of the styrofoam and just filling it in. If you wanted to, you could have covered this with moss and stuff, but by the time I get done, you're not going to see it. So I'm not going to waste my time putting the moss on. Now that I'm starting to come up the side of the styrofoam, I'm not going to always be going straight in. I'm going to start putting my greenery in at an angle. Cut these last few pieces off. Okay, I got to scoop some of this greenery back. I got to get my... I got to be able to turn this. Sorry, I should have put that out when I first started. Okay. Okay, see how you can start to see that these are sticking up more? Because I want to start filling this in, and I want to give it more depth and dimension instead of everything being flat. Okay, next, I don't need that. I'm going to use this one. And to me, that looks like the top of a carrot. Okay, I think I'm on 3 or 4 pieces of stems that I've been able to use and take out of my remnants box. And that's why it's so important. If you keep them organized by seasons, you can go right to them. Got a little bit more. The other thing I'm doing as I'm going up the layers, I'm making each of the layers a little bit shorter. So my first layer is the longest, and then it's going to kind of start tearing up. If I have 2 pieces, I put one on one side and one on the other opposite. So I do kind of try to keep a little bit of it together. Okay, I know that this came from Hobby Lobby because it's still got a little tag on it. Looks like I've used 3 or 4 pieces of this, but we're going to go ahead and finish this out and get rid of it. This one's a little bit longer, so I'm kind of going down below a little bit. My turntable, I know I'll get asked. My husband made that. Oh, here's a little bitty piece of fern that I missed. We're going to add that in there. Okay, look how nice and full it looks. I think I'm going to trim the ends back a little bit. I don't think I like my ferns quite that long, but we'll see. I may trim those back a little bit. And then once I get another thing of greenery in, then we're going to start adding some florals. And then I'm going to save my fillers for the end. Didn't want to come off. Because we're going to fill it all up around when we put our bunny in. Then we're going to add some Easter eggs. I might have to use my stem cutter on this one. This one's tough. Got some serious wire going up it. Okay, I think our bottom is getting nice and full. I've used, whoops, nope, I got a couple more pieces right here to use. Got some hot glue on me. That's never a good feeling. Okay, I think that's enough greenery for what I need right now. I'm going to put in our bunny, and then we're going to start filling around the bunny, put a bow and some Easter eggs and some florals in. So what I did is I took my pick and I put 2 holes in the bottom, put in my skewers, and I'm going to turn this around real quick so I can see how high I want it to be. And I'm going to put them right in the middle. So I'm just going to dip them in the hot glue. And we're going to secure them down. I'm going to keep him up just a little bit because I want to be able to see his feet. When I did mine, I put mine too far down. Not really too far down, but far enough down that you can't see his little feet. And on this one, I want some of his little feet to show. Okay, then I want to take a I'm going to cut a piece of a stem that's left over, and I'm going to glue it right behind the bunny because I want him to stand up more. So we're just going to glue that right down the back. Just like that. So we'll let that dry for a minute. See, I got a few small pieces that we'll use at the end. Okay, now I'm going to add some fillers. So I'm going to pull them from this bunch. And we're going to start filling it in. I'm going to take a lot of the fillers, and I'm going to show you, I'll turn it around, and insert them really close underneath the bunny's feet and where the skewers are to cover that up. My fern is stuck, and here we go. Okay, so I'm going to take this and take it right underneath the bunny. So he's actually going to be looking like he's sitting on the greenery, kind of out in a little field, I guess. See, one piece left, but it's going to be used today. Just going to push all these up, make it nice and full. I'm going to take some of my greenery going up the back of the bunny because I want the mechanics of where I put that stick in there to be covered up. It's too long. Okay, see how that back's getting filled up? You can still see a little bit, but by the time we get done, you won't. Few more pieces. our little guy's getting nice and full. I'm going to take a couple of these taller pieces that I have around the back. The ferns are going shorter on the ends. Okay, look how nice and full we're looking. Oh, I think our little bunny ear got pushed down. There you go. Now you can see him with those leftover pieces. So now let's put some florals in. Let's get rid of all this greenery. Going to go back in the greenery box. Whoops. Okay. So I've got one stem of these large pink, and then I have a smaller one. So I think I'm going to use these first and cut these down. So this is where your creativity and the funness really starts now that you've got your base in. As you can just start adding. So I put one piece of pink on each side. I'm going to put one back up here in the back because I want some stuff to come up behind the rabbit, the bunny. I don't want it just to be like it's sitting up here by itself. I want the greenery and the florals to kind of be part of the design. Okay, and let's just do a couple of these small ones. I'm going to put one on each side because I had two stems. Now, when you're putting in your florals and stuff, you can make it as full as you want because I know some people like their designs a lot fuller than others. So So of course I have leftover lavender, and you all know I have to add that. Okay, on this lavender, I'm going to cut off the greenery part of it. The bottom one I can just slide off because I don't need it. And I mainly just want the purple part of it. So you kind of see how we're just kind of putting in some lavender around. I'm going to put some up higher and some lower. Get this all turned around here. My little bunny was sliding off the table here. Put a little bit in the back. I'm not going to use that. I love having my big trash can right next to me because I can kind of keep my table somewhat clean and see what I have left. Otherwise, it gets too chaotic for me. Okay, I think that's enough lavender for right now. I may add some because I see just a little bit left, so I will probably end up using that. Okay, I'm going to add a couple of white flowers. Let's see what I have. So it looks like I have several of those left, so we're going to use those. Looks like some little roses. We'll just cut those all apart. Okay, I only have 2 of these, so I'm going to put one on each side up front. I'm just going to kind of nestle those in there. So I put one coming up there, and one's kind of nestled in over there. So we're just going to continue. And some of these are going to look like they're kind of going too far in. I'm doing that on purpose to keep covering up little pieces of the styrofoam I see. See, we've got some white flowers coming through it. We've got some pink. Put a few more bright pink ones in. So he's going to look like he's just sitting out in a flower garden with lots of spring flowers. I know some of you are out there telling me to stop. I can see those comments already, but I want to get it nice and full. Whoops, excuse me, nice and full and springy. Okay, I've got this that only has 2 or 3 pieces of yellow, and I want to add it to it so it doesn't just look like it's a pink and purple design. And in the rabbit's ears or the bunny's ears, there's some yellow going through it. So I kind of want to add a sprig or 2 of the yellow. Not a lot, just a little bit. There it is with just a little bit of yellow. I'll let you come up a little higher. Okay, let's add a few Easter eggs. You don't have to add the Easter eggs, but I do want to put a few Easter eggs in it. And then maybe a small bow. So let's go to the old Easter egg. And I'm going to kind of nestle the eggs down in the florals. And we're just about done. Whoops. That one's not going to work. Drop that one in the glue pot. Okay, see how the eggs are just kind of nestled down in around them? So you can see them, but they just don't jump out. This came from Hobby Lobby last year. I'm sure they have it this year, but I bought it last year. And I'm just kind of giving this some whimsical by adding this in. I have some ribbon out to make a bow, but I'm not sure I'm going to put a bow on this one. Because I think I like making it whimsical and adding these in instead. And I'll probably, after I'm done, I'll sit for a while, let it dry, all the glue and stuff, and then I may change my mind when I post a picture of it and list it. So it may or may not come with the bow. I want a few of these whimsy pieces in the back. Okay, here it is, basically done. And like I said, after it sits for a while, I always come back and look at everything, and 9 times out of 10, I'm going to add stuff to it. But if I was going to add a bow, I have this ribbon picked out. It's Easter egg ribbon. And I would only do a very simple one, so I'm just going to show you, but I'm not going to attach it yet. Well, where did I put my scissors? Oh, here they are. So I did a 3-loop bow. And that's how I would do a bow. I would just put a cute little one there on the side. Okay, I'm going to move this back real quick because I'm going to show you how I display mine in my house. Get all this stuff out of the way so you can see better. I love to use cake stands in a lot of my designs. And here's one that I set this on. And see how cute the edging and stuff match or adds to your design. You don't see your plate charger or anything at this time, which I think makes it really cute. And this can be displayed to where it can be seen all the way around. So that's my new one. And here's the one that I did last year. Whoops. This is the one that I did last year that I kept. And see how you really can't see his cute little feet very well? I wish I wouldn't have covered mine up so much, because I like how this one, you can see his feet. You probably can't see it on camera, but if you're there looking at it, you can see the bottoms of his feet. So I hope you guys enjoyed this cute little kickoff to spring and Easter arrangement. I'm going to be doing several more centerpieces and arrangements. If there's anything special you would like to see or have me design, just send me a note and I will be happy to do that. I've got a ton of glue on my fingernails. Happy to do that. And just be watching, because I will be starting to post a ton of Easter design, spring, and then I'll be working on a couple of St. Patrick's. That's the last of my Valentine. I think that's the only Valentine wreath I have left. Everything else is gone. So have a good day, have a good weekend, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.